The following program may contain language of an adult nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out, this is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth, and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Dante, baby. Dante!
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another great edition of the Dontaesboxingnation show. I am your host. First things first, as always, let me go ahead and introduce the DBM panel. As always, my man Boxing Eagle, what's going on, man?
Yo, mic check, 1, 2, let's do it.
All right. My girl, Miss Boxing Baby, what's going on?
What it do?
All right, and my man, a.k.a. Rap King, man, what's cracking?
What's up, let's get it.
Now, in the studio, I want to introduce my very special guest right here. This man's been following my YouTube channel. He's a big boxing fan, and you guys may even know him on YouTube if you've ever seen him comment as Game Sports Weed. My man CeeLo, what's going on, man?
What's good, y'all?
All right, man. Welcome to the show, man. He said he wanted to get on the show and drop some knowledge. He's been living out here in Vegas, so, you know, how's it been living out here in Vegas, man?
Oh, it's cool. I'm working, and I've been educating a lot of people out here, too, you know, a lot of decafs.
That's what we do. That's what we do. It's always good for people to spread the word. So anyway, man, we'll just, you know, go over, you know, some of the fights that took place this past weekend very briefly because it wasn't anything really big, but I would say Frampton versus Gonzalez. That was the fight that really stood out. We had Chavez versus Reyes, you know, where, like Ego said before we got on air, that almost ain't even worth talking about because it wasn't that great of a performance. He wasn't in there with, you know, a name, a real fighter. He looked like he was about 30 pounds bigger than his opponent. And even though he got a new trainer, Chavez Jr., he still didn't look any better, you know. So, I mean, I'll just let Boxing Eagle, do you want to say anything about that fight?
About Chavez Reyes?
Yeah.
Ultimately just disappointed. Huge fan of his father, Chavez Sr., and it's just he's not doing the last name justice, in my opinion, at the moment. You just got to refocus and get right. Like you said, he looked 30 to 50 pounds larger. You're in against a guy on paper who you should beat. And the crazy thing is, I think Chavez Jr., he performed better, like when he was fighting guys like Andy Lee and what's the other guy he stopped? I forgot his name, Manfredi. He looked better when he was fighting guys like that. And then now he looks slow. He was punching when he wanted to punch, but not in a good way. Like, he just looked like he didn't have the energy to do it, just real lethargic. And then on top of that, people like to bring up weight all the time. You can't come in overweight and then still turn in that type of performance. Like, neither one of them look good, but I give Reyes at least a little bit of a break because he was a smaller guy, and he's normally a middleweight who came up to 168. Chavez didn't even make 168, so they had to move it to 170 plus whatever he rehydrated to. So, again, if you don't make weight, have a Mayweather versus Marquez performance, Broner versus Escobedo, Mikey Garcia, he missed weight with somebody, and I think he won that fight. So have one of those types of performances. Didn't like what I've seen from Chavez, and I don't see him beating any elite name in or around his division at 168 or 175 based on that.
Yeah, it looks like Chavez is on the downside. Carlos, I mean, what do you think, man? Is he done or what?
Yeah, I think he's done. Well, they're pretty much using him for his name at this point, you know? I'm still surprised that he's headlining cards and stuff. When my Mexican buddies who don't really know that much about, they just, you know, hear the name and they be saying, let's go watch Chavez fight, but it's like, I don't even want to watch it, you know? I ain't calling out of work for that fight, you know?
Yeah.
But he was done from the light heavyweight fight too. Was it? What was it?
Against Fonfara?
Yeah, because I read an article where Fonfara said that he'll knock him out even quicker.
Oh yeah.
In an article he said that, but yeah.
That's a good point when you said though. It's like they're just using his name right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, of course, I kind of commend Chavez just for one thing because he was so embarrassed from the Fonfara performance that he came right back. You don't see fighters do that, but it didn't make a difference because he still looked the same. So he pretty much on the downside. And then just briefly, we'll also touch on Frampton versus Gonzalez. Now, that was my first time getting to watch Carl Frampton fight live, at least, and I was pretty impressed with him. He got knocked down twice in the first round, and even though he got knocked down twice, it didn't discourage him because he continued to move forward, and he put on a good performance. He adjusted. He started to use his jab. Once he started to use his jab in the later rounds, it seemed like everything came together. And then, he was able to land more combinations. And he was in there against a good, opponent, a fighter who had a great fighting pedigree. His dad was a champion. So I look forward to seeing Carl Frampton in the future, with him being with Al Heyman. Hopefully we get to see him and Guillermo Rigo, because there's rumors that Rigo might sign with Al Heyman. So hopefully we get to see that fight, or we get to see him fight somebody in that circle. You got Abner Mares, you got Leo Santa Cruz, so hopefully they get to fight. And then, of course, you had Nonito Donaire fighting against a complete nobody. And, he was just, trying to get his confidence back. But, real quick, guys, it's funny when it comes to Nonito Donaire because I told people a long time ago after Donaire lost to Guillermo Rigo, even though HBO, they were trying their best to make Guillermo Rigondeaux look bad after he beat Donaire, I told people no matter how bad they try to make him look, no matter how bad HBO, Top Rank, Bob Arum, no matter how bad they try to make Guillermo Rigo look, and no matter how good they try to make Donaire look, they cannot make Donaire a better fighter. And because of that, don't be surprised if eventually you see Donaire fighting on ESPN or Solo Boxeo while Guillermo Rigo is starting to get the bigger fights. He's starting to get the bigger contracts. He's starting to get the respect that he deserves. And I think that's what we've seen this weekend. Now everybody wants to sign Guillermo Rigo while Donaire is fighting on Solo Boxeo against a complete no one. So.
And also to jump in about the Rigo, as a fan, I read an article that's saying Bob Arum as a fan saying, "Oh, I got to see Rigo versus Lomachenko," and and wasn't we saying the one that Bob Arum's the one demoting him, right?
Yeah, demoting him.
He hated on him, but then he's saying, "Oh, as a fan, I got to see that fight." You know, he's turning around acting like a fan, like, "Oh, I got to see that. I got to get my popcorn in the couch."
That's a good point, man. I mean, Miss Boxing Baby. I mean, what do you think about the situation with Guillermo Rigo? I mean, when it comes to Carl Frampton and all these guys, do you want to see those fights or what?
Carl Frampton and none of those guys are on his level. So these guys are basic fighters. They're good. He's special. There's a difference. And I had never seen Carl Frampton fight before. That was my first time. He looked okay, but he looked basic. This dude, Rigondeaux, he's just a whole nother level. Yeah. I mean, it was people all over Twitter. This dude would beat Rigo. He won rings around him. And it's not taking anything from him. He's just on a whole nother level. He's on a whole nother level.
And you just
none of these guys, none of them can touch anything he does in the ring. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we might all agree with that nobody is probably going to beat Rigo. And I think Lomachenko may be one of the guys that probably give him his best fight. But speaking of that, Lomachenko just recently said that he doesn't want to fight at a catch weight, and he said he doesn't want a clause, a rehydration clause in the contract. He wants to be able to rehydrate to whatever he wants to. And I'm gonna say this, which may surprise some people, but I don't blame Loma for not wanting to do that. He's at featherweight, so I don't think he should have to if he doesn't want to. But at the same time, I understand that Rigo wants to catch weight, but I honestly believe that when push comes to shove, they're going to end up still making that fight. I truly believe it, especially when you got Bob Arum saying, he wants to see the fight, which is completely, hypocritical from what he said before. How do you go from basically saying, this guy can't sell fights and nobody wants to watch him? Now all of a sudden you saying this is a fight that has to happen? It's pretty wild, man. But
because in his mind, he probably thinks that Lomachenko's going to beat him. That's the only reason why he wants that fight to happen.
Yeah, but that's a big loss or a big gamble for Bob Arum because he no longer has Rigo. So if Rigo beats him, that's a big loss for him. Just like he lost Donaire, and that's the reason why Bob was so upset when Donaire lost, because he felt that he could make more money off of Donaire than he could off of Rigondeaux.
And he lost Pacquiao too.
Yeah, and he lost Pacquiao too. So you lose Pacquiao, you lose Donaire, and then you lose Lomachenko, and then you got PBC kicking your ass right now. That's not a good year, or not a good couple years for Bob Arum. So,
and you also got him bashing Pacquiao, saying that he's acting unprofessional. He's an inactive fighter, so he's taking shots.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that too. The little disagreement that Bob Arum and Pacquiao are having about his shoulder injury, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go ahead and continue where we left off last week. We were talking about Andre Ward. We were talking about Gennady Golovkin. Now recently, if you guys have been following the boxing news, Andre Ward has been putting a lot of pressure on Gennady Golovkin. From reports, Dan Raphael reported that Andre Ward is actually willing to fight at a catch weight. Now Boxing Ego, I don't know exactly what weight he's going to fight at. If he ends up doing it, but do you think that Golovkin will take this fight, because Ward wants this fight next? So do you think Golovkin's going to take the fight, Ego?
Possibly. I mean, he might have to be honest. And the reason why is because I stay in tune with what's going on in boxing, and there's not that many options. Carl Froch announced his retirement, gone. Peter Quillen's already fighting on September versus probably a light touch because it's TBA, and if they don't have the name of the opponent by now, it's probably not a superstar. Andy Lee's fighting Saunders. That's already in the works. I don't think Oscar De La Hoya is going to put David Lemieux, because that's one of his only remaining cash cows. He's not going to put him after a Hassan Indown fight. I don't think he's going to put him in there with a guy like Triple G, who's mowing through middleweight. So, I mean, it's getting slim. Triple G's team said they don't want to fight Bernard Hopkins, so that looks like it's out. So, I mean, who are you going to fight? Froch is gone. Quillen's gone. Andy Lee's gone. David... Who?
That's who he's going to fight, another tomato can. He don't want no parts of Andre Ward. He's going to fight another tomato can, another cab driver, so he can win and look good, and they're going to keep hyping his dude record up, and he's fought nobody. Listen, that man is not going to fight Ward. I don't care if the weight was 152 pounds. He's not going to fight him, because they know, he knows, everybody knows there's no chance of him winning this fight. He'll get broken down and stopped late. And he knows this. You have to keep padding the record. The whole record is padded. He got 33 non-Class A fighters. He's going to fight a 34th non-Class A fighter, and they're going to keep building this dude up to be the next great hype, and he ain't fought nobody. And it's going to continue on from now until he is not fighting Andre Ward. I believe it when I see it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
And he's 33 years old, AK. He's 33 years old. Usually we see fighters fighting, at least competition on their level by the time they're 25, 26, 27. The man is 33 years old. AK, does he need to fight Andre Ward or someone on that level? Will he fight Andre Ward if Andre Ward comes down to a catch weight, AK?
Well, absolutely, yes. He need to go ahead and fight him because, I mean, this is your prime, After 33, you're getting older and older, you know what I'm saying? So if you're going to do it, might as well do it now. So he need to do it because he has no fights. Really at middleweight, a lot of guys don't want to fight him. And, so you got... People claim that Andre Ward, he don't sell tickets, this and that. Golovkin is the A side, but what makes Golovkin the A side? You know what I'm saying? Andre Ward has a better resume. Andre Ward is on top of him on the pound-for-pound list. You could argue about him or Rigondeaux number 2. Andre Ward, if I'm not mistaken, like I said, when he fought Rodriguez, he got paid $2 million. And I'm pretty sure when Golovkin fought the fighters he be fighting, he don't get paid $2 million each fight.
Mm-hmm.
So how come he's the A side? What makes him the A side? If Andre is doing more numbers, making more money, and he has a better resume, and he's better. He's on the top pound for pound list, while Golovkin is not. So what makes him the A side? So
and
like
quite
I said,
honestly, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, so if it's clearly that he don't want the fight, and I'm pretty sure I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he's going to take the fight. That's just my opinion. I don't think he want to fight Andre Ward because skill recognize skill, and he knows Andre Ward will school him.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bobby, baby.
You know,
Or
And then, quite honestly, they keep saying he's avoided. Who is avoiding him? There's no proof that everybody at middleweight is avoiding him. That's what they're saying. You don't know what the situation is. To me, honestly, I think they're placing opponents in front of him that they want to place in front of him so he can win. I don't believe for 1 minute that everybody at 160 is avoiding him. I don't believe it.
well,
They're
I mean,
padding his record to look the way he looks. That's why he has fought all these Class B fighters. Not one future Hall of Famer, not one fighter in the top 10. To me, Willie Monroe gave him his best performance. He showed flaws once again in his game. I don't believe everybody at 160 is avoiding him. You can't sell me on that.
The only
you
people.
cannot sell me on that. I just don't believe it. I feel that they're putting the opponents in front of him that they know he's going to walk through and beat and look good. Come on, man.
I think he is being avoided. Me personally, I do think he is being avoided by some people.
Like
I don't know
Cotto,
exactly how far-
Cotto's up in
Canelo,
there.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Cotto's and you know what I mean, Canelo.
But Canelo's not a natural middleweight. He's not 160, so he doesn't even
But
count.
he's a little
But,
middleweight
yeah,
champion,
in
though,
a
so
way,
he
yeah.
still counts.
He's trying to get
But, I mean-
that Canelo fight, you know? Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, me personally, I do think he's being avoided by some middleweights, but that's just the thing. You say you want to stay at middleweight and unify, but you can't unify because first of all, the division's not even that stacked. That's for one thing. In terms of real skill, like you go to welterweight, you go to 140, it's pretty stacked up there. You know what I mean? There's some good candidates. Even the 168 division, you got DeGales and Wards, and you got a lot of competition in and around the division. So I think that's one reason. Middleweight's just not that stacked with, like, elite level type fighters. And then I do think he's being avoided by some, but you got to make a decision. Like you said, you're 33 years old. What are you going to do? You got to do something. He's 34, actually. You got to do something.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then, like,
He's going to do what he's been doing. He's going to keep fighting who he's fighting because it's working, and people are buying into it.
yeah.
I mean,
He's
like,
viejito.
You see the skill he has.
Ya es
You know what
viejito.
he knows he can't do. But he still has not fought anybody elite. He's not 16-0. He's not 17-0. He's 33-0. When are you going to step up and fight better competition?
And another
If you
thing,
can't do
though,
that 160, move up to 168.
go ahead, Ego.
Dante, I'm still undefeated with this question too. Nobody, I posed it on 2 videos. No one's really intelligently answered it. So my thing is this: a lot of the skill fighters, they laugh in their downfall, like, haha, Ward, he's out with legal trouble, he's injured, haha. That's what they want. They want Ward to be out.
Yeah.
But now that he got that cleared up, he got the shoulder surgery, he got the legal trouble behind him with the Rock Nation deal. Now they don't know what to do, so they're making up excuses. I'm talking about the fans making up excuses. But my question is this: you laugh when Andre Ward was out. He fought like 2 times in 3 years. You're like, oh, he's too inactive, right? He was too inactive. Why does he still have a better resume than a guy who's fighting 3 to 4 times a year? How's that possible?
Yeah.
That a guy that fought 2 times in 3 years versus a guy who's fighting 4 times in 1 year for the last couple years, 3 or 4 times a year, and Ward's resume is still like eons above Triple G. That doesn't make sense to me when you have one guy being very active and one guy being very inactive.
And like you said, he's older than Andre Ward, which makes it look even worse for Gennady Golovkin.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to talking about, Golovkin being avoided, I'll put it this way. Yes, there are fighters out there that are avoiding him, but I will never say that Golovkin is one of the most avoided fighters, because when you're the most avoided fighter, that means there is nobody, especially on that's on a top level, on a top caliber, that's willing to fight you. You see, the thing is, when it comes to Guillermo Rigo, he is what you would consider the most avoided, or one of the most avoided, because nobody wants to fight him. And what does he do? He's willing to jump up to a higher weight class where he's going to be completely outweighed, because he could barely make weight at 122. He comes in the ring at like 124. He's willing to go up and fight the best at 126, which is Lomachenko or Nicholas Walters. When it comes to Gennady Golovkin, people say he's like the most avoided, but he has the number 2 pound for pound guy who wants to fight him, which makes all the sense in the world for him to fight that guy. And he also has Erislandy Lara, someone who wants to fight him, a guy who has a style that is very similar to Willie Monroe. There's no reason for you to fight Willie Monroe and not fight against Erislandy Lara. So that's why I would say, yes, there are people like Canelo and Cotto that are avoiding him, but he is not one of the most avoided fighters. A lot of fighters out there have somebody avoiding them, but it doesn't make them one of the most avoided fighters. So,
ain't they saying Thurman's one of the most avoided?
Yeah.
Remember on the promo they saying one of the most feared fighters, or something like that.
Yeah, they saying that, but like I said, now you even got people who want to fight Thurman. You know, I mean, you got
especially after this performance, huh?
Yeah,
I think Khan, wants to fight him now. Well, I think so.
Hopefully,
I know Errol Spence wants to fight him.
Well, yeah, and we know Errol Spence want to fight him. You know, but go ahead.
Even with that performance, he'll still knock Khan out. That's still a win by knockout. Even with how he looked against, to me, he didn't look that bad. He looked decent. He'll still knock Khan out.
Yeah.
One thing about Rigo, though, I have educated a lot of stupid people that don't know nothing about him. You know, I break it down to people with Rigo. You know, I show he's fucking he is special. I agree with Boxing Baby. He is special. You know, Rigo's a beast. You know, I'll pick him over anybody, and I'll argue with Mexicans because I'm Latino myself, and I watch boxing with people like that don't know shit. You know, they're just gonna go for the guy because he's Mexican, but I gotta tell them, you know, I gotta educate them, explain, you know, Rigo's the real deal. Put race aside, you know, you gotta use your brain, you know. And if you want to make the money, or even just make the money, you know, if you want to make money, you know.
And he can do so much. He can box and he steps on. That's why I like his style a little bit over Larry's. The issue I have with Larry is he doesn't step on the gas enough for me, but Rigondeaux can do it all. He can box you. He steps on the gas.
He can fight on the inside, the outside. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
this is the other thing that I noticed too when we're talking about resume. And I hate saying some of this stuff because you got these lunatic fans. They'll be like, "Oh, you hate Golovkin. You hate this fan." It's not about hate. It's just about wanting to see good fight. And you got a guy like Rigondeaux. He barely even have 15 fights. And he has a better resume than Triple G, who has double the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Rigondeaux, Donaire, and Berto per division is better than really anybody on Triple G's resume for me. Like, who compares?
Yeah.
Adama, who compares to what Donaire was at that point, winning for 11 years straight, beating former or current champions.
Yeah.
There is no Donaire status person at middleweight that Golovkin has ran through. Martin Murray, he lost both of his big fights. One was a draw with Felix Sturm. And then the Sergio Martinez, even though it had some controversy, he still lost, and he wasn't crowned champion. So who is who is Triple G's Donaire? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And he has way more fights.
Exactly. And the question is, how long is HBO going to allow him to keep fighting against soft competition? Like you said, he's 34 years old now. I heard some people have sent text to me. I don't know if it's how accurate of the information it is, but basically some people have said that HBO, they told Golovkin, we're not going to have you fighting 4 times a year against no ones. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but they said I think they're pretty much
Roger Mayweather.
Go ahead.
Mayweather always says that. I was going to say Roger Mayweather always says who he beat. Like the whole 20 consecutive knockouts, that's great. I'm sure Mike Tyson could have had 100 straight knockouts if given the right path and the right competition. But most fighters, Marcos Maidana, he was knocking everybody out in Argentina, everybody, right? He came to America, started fighting guys from Mexico like Eric Morales. He started fighting guys like Broner. He fought Devin Alexander, guys from around the world, and he couldn't knock them out. You know what I mean? Even though he hurt them, he didn't knock them out. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
We want to see Triple G step up in class. Maybe he hurts them. Maybe he loses. We don't know. And those questions need to be answered. Anyone can have a 20 consecutive knockout if they're fed the right opposition.
Of course.
And you already have power to begin with.
Of course.
Like Andre Ward said, anybody could be a knockout puncher at the C level. You know what I'm saying? It matters when you step up. Like Keith Thurman also, he was knocking out everybody too. Now he fought the Guerreros, the Colossos of the world. What happened? He's not knocking them out anymore. So he has to step up. And it's the time for it now. David Lemieux wants to fight, and he already said he want to fight at 168 versus Carl Froch and Chavez. So why not Andre Ward? Why Andre Ward has to be a catchweight? And then Andre Ward, on top of that, is already agreeing to a catchweight. He says he wants that fight no matter what.
Yeah.
So it lets you know that it's all on Golovkin right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And why is it a problem for fans that we want to see these fighters step up? Like, isn't that a testament to that they're doing something right, that we want to see these fights?
Yeah, and it happens in every other sport.
This fight, a resume full of cab drivers, but Mayweather has his last fight against a former world champion. So people don't know the history of Mayweather and Berto. They were supposed to fight in 2011, but Ortiz upset that when he beat Berto. People don't know that though.
But they don't want to acknowledge it. Even the people who know don't want to acknowledge it.
Yeah, Berto brought that up. Yeah.
But tonight is reluctant to have a record full of taxi drivers, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And he's the so-called on the pound-for-pound list. So Floyd can't have one last fight. But his whole resume has been future Hall of Famers and fighters in the top 10 on the pound-for-pound list. One fight against a former world champion, he's getting called all type of names. It's ridiculous. It's a double standard and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I told you guys a long time ago on the radio show, I believe, Muhammad Ali, after he had one of his biggest wins over George Foreman, you know who he fought next? He fought a guy by the name of Chuck Webner. And this dude was a complete tomato can. He was a complete bum.
Yeah.
He had like over 10 losses, and he was just, in there, just for Ali to basically have a vacation fight. You know what I mean? That was his vacation fight. It was supposed to be an easy fight. Even Chuck Webner's own people was like, why does Ali want to fight this guy? He got more stitches than, a suit or whatever.
That was like the bum of the month.
Exactly.
Like Rocky style.
Like Joe Louis.
Yeah.
Like Joe Louis at the bum of the month club. Go ahead.
Dante, you know what's funny too? You know what's funny about this whole Mayweather-Berto? And I'm not saying this is the best fight, but I'm saying this guy, just like Miss Boxing Baby said, look at his schedule. He's had a crazy schedule, so people are trying to downplay Berto more. They're like, oh, this is BS. Why is he fighting Berto? Why is he not fighting Khan? Khan and Berto have the same amount of knockout or the same amount of losses. They both have 3 losses. Difference is Amir Khan got knocked out in 2 of his losses versus Berto got knocked out in 1 of his losses versus Jesus Soto Caras, and his arm was wounded from the early rounds. And they both have speed. So you know what I'm saying? Like, why do people have this fascination with Amir Khan being so much of a better fighter? You know what I mean? They both got knocked out, and if you look at the last performance, Berto had a stoppage in his versus a welterweight, Josecito Lopez, and Amir Khan. He struggled with the guy off a loss, a 6 knockdown loss to Pacquiao, a split decision before that, and he was coming up in weight, and he had no crack, he had no power at 140, and Amir Khan struggled with this. So I just don't understand why it's so blasphemous that Berto is even
in their mind, Amir Khan's going to use his speed so-called to beat Mayweather. This man has done nothing at 147. It even goes beyond the same amount of knockouts. He's done nothing at 147. So why did he get the chance to fight Floyd? His first fight at 147 was against Luis Collazo last year. He fought Algieri and Devin Alexander. What has he done at 147 to deserve a chance to fight him? For a championship? Nothing.
I thought he looked good in the the Devin Alexander fight.
Because Devin Alexander fought the whole same pace. Not even listen to his trainer telling him to move inside, pressing him. He don't have nothing to say the same pace the whole night.
But the whole.
I just don't understand why people think in their mind this is the man who's always one punch away from being put to sleep is going to get Floyd in trouble. Come on.
I think
his name shouldn't be mentioned in the running. He's done nothing at 147.
Another thing though, some people will say, "Oh, I think Khan has a good chance." Some people do give Khan a good chance.
Until he gets hit. Until he gets hit.
And people try to say, "Oh, he got faster." To me, I think Mayweather beats him easily, possibly knocks him out. But people do People do agree thinking that Khan could win. Some people really believe that.
I think Khan.
I'm just saying. My thing is this: if you put Berto and you put Khan next to each other, Khan he probably throws more punches, but it's not like one's like an elite level. Like I don't give one a much greater shot than the other. Khan maybe gets a little bit better shot, but I think Mayweather beats all of them. He beats everybody at 147.
There's no doubt about it. Also, I believe Khan might have messed up, his chance. He might have messed up his opportunity, one, with the Algieri fight, but mainly I think he messed up talking all the shit he was talking, trying to make it seem like he was this big. He was trying to make it seem like, he was the second coming.
Like Mayweather needed him.
Yeah, like Mayweather needed him. Like, oh, he's scared and I'll put bigger gloves on. Talking like he's just this big monster. And I think Mayweather. I think Mayweather took offense to that. I really do. But this is one thing you guys everyone has to really think about. This is the main point right here. Is there any opponent that Floyd Mayweather could have fought that had a better resume than a Manny Pacquiao? I mean, if you really look at it that way. Because remember, before the Manny Pacquiao fight, what were all the fans talking about? All the debates were, who has a better resume, Mayweather or Pacquiao. When they thought the fight wasn't going to happen, you had all these fans saying, oh, Pacquiao, he did this. He went, he fought in 8 divisions, 10 titles, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? They were trying to say that he had a better resume than Floyd Mayweather. So when Floyd Mayweather beats a guy with that type of resume, I mean, what other opponent, especially in Floyd Mayweather's last fight, has a resume like Manny Pacquiao? So the point that I'm making is, once again, after you beat Manny Pacquiao, there's really nothing else to prove, according to what the fans were debating before Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao, right? So it doesn't really, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And like I keep saying, if Manny Pacquiao would have beat Floyd Mayweather and he fought Andre Berto next, nobody would have a problem with it. Just like nobody had a problem when he fought Algieri.
Andre Berto and Pacquiao
completely agree, man.
And Brandon Rios. I mean, did I miss something? And they said nothing about that. And then they tried to build up the Chris Algieri fight like that man had a chance in hell. He had no chance of beating him.
Yeah.
But that was fine. But Floyd can't fight a Floyd. Matter of fact, Berto had the belt that Floyd has right now. He had that WBC belt for a while before he lost it.
Yes, he did. Yes,
so
he
I don't
did.
understand why. I do understand why. I don't know why she's saying, but I do understand why. They want the man to lose, and that's the bottom line. So anybody they can name, whether it's Keith Thurman, Amir Khan, his no chin, anybody that they feel is going to beat Floyd Mayweather, and until he loses, they're always going to hate him.
And remember,
they want him to stick around and box and lose, and then they can say, well, he should have got out of it. There's no satisfying these people because they're thinking with their emotions and not with their brain. That's the problem.
And remember, they said that Floyd was ducking Berto back in the day. They said he was ducking Berto before. So go ahead, Boxing.
Back in before he fought Mosley, right? Back in those days.
No, right around the time when he fought Ortiz.
When Mosley was supposed to fight Berto, that's when Berto was making noise, and then he pulled out, and then Mayweather fought Mosley, and that's when the Pacquiao thing broke up.
Yeah,
I remember that. That's when Berto was fresh, undefeated. People thought he was the next thing,
But and then they said when he fought Victor Ortiz,
the hurricane over in Haiti. That's why him and Mosley never fought. The hurricane happened in Haiti. He pulled out the fight. He fought Ortiz. Floyd was there scouting Berto, because Berto was the favorite. He was undefeated. He was on the come up, and he got upset. That's the only reason why Floyd fought Ortiz. He didn't duck Berto. He was there watching him to fight him.
Well, like I said, when Andre Berto was on top, he lost to Victor Ortiz. And who beat Victor Ortiz? It was Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? So the man that beat the man to beat the man.
Watching that fight. There, watching them fight, looking at Berto, because Berto was the favorite in that fight. He was supposed to beat Ortiz.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, you look at everybody that they're saying needs to fight. Look at their last 3 fights, like Kell Brook. You fought Sean Porter. That was a good look. But ever since then, it's been a backtrack. Jojo Dan. Then next you fought Frankie Gavin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's blasphemous if Mayweather takes what's considered a soft touch. Yeah, Kell Brook. And I like Kell Brook, but he can fight Sean Porter, become a champion, and his defenses are mad easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that equate? How is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, you could put it just as simple. You could put it just as simple. If someone keeps buying you a gift, right? They buy you a gift every year for Christmas, for your birthday, and every single time you get that gift, you don't say thank you. You be like, man, this is a cheap-ass screen TV. How come you didn't give me the 3D one? And et cetera, et cetera. You constantly complain every time this person gives you a gift. Eventually, they're not going to care what you think anymore, and they may not even give you the gift. Floyd Mayweather, he continued to fight the opponents that fans wanted to see, right? And then these decafs, instead of saying thank you, now I respect you more, Mayweather, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they came up with more excuses, right? Like I said before, when he fought Canelo, the people were saying he was scared of Canelo. After, as soon as the contract signed, Canelo is green. He was scared of Mosley. Now Mosley is old. He was scared of Pacquiao. Now Pacquiao, 1,000 excuses for Pacquiao, right? So the point that I'm making is, he don't really care anymore, especially in his last fight, what anyone thinks. You know what I mean? So, and it doesn't really matter because once again, who has a resume like Floyd Mayweather's, at least right now? You know what I mean? And even if you go all the way back to Sugar Ray Robinson, we could find some opponents. Trust me. You go to BoxRec right now, you will see about 50 opponents that Sugar Ray Robinson has faced that is way weaker than Andre Berto. Okay? So check that out on
It's not only his opponent, it's the way his resume was built. He has 48 fights, so he's taken no punishment. And I don't mean being caught with a punch. That's boxing. You're going to be hit. In 48 fights, no unnecessary punishment. That's bigger than me than who he's fought.
Yeah.
All his fights he made look easy.
Yeah.
And then you have a fighter might win a couple of rounds, and he still knows how to adjust and not take punishment. To me, that's a feat in itself.
Yeah.
But you don't give the man a credit. You say someone like Mosey's old, when just a year before Mosey had knocked out Antonio Margarita, a man who had never been stopped.
Absolutely.
And also,
So they don't give credit.
if Mayweather go 50-0, that's really gonna get people. That's really gonna get people, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When he got his ass handed to him, then there was excuses.
Because they want that Rocky record, you know.
Get out the game. They're never going to appreciate him. Just fight this last fight and leave. I wouldn't even go for 50-0. Because they don't appreciate him. They never will.
But if he does get 50-0, that's what they don't want. They don't want that. That's only gonna be that's gonna top it off. That's gonna be Larry Merchant. Oh, you own, you know. That's gonna own everybody, and it's done. You know, it's official now.
Well, you bring up a good point because, and I was going to talk about this in the video that I was going to do.
Yeah.
But you know, usually we're taught that when you get first place, you know, you know that's the biggest accomplishment. You know, that's when people appreciate you. That's when people embrace you and congratulate you, et cetera, et cetera. But when it comes to some people, especially some people on the coincidental list, let's be realistic. When it comes to someone like a Floyd Mayweather, he beats Manny Pacquiao, finishing first place, and you know he's dealing with even more of a backlash from, you know, the decafs. Like I said, them slapping him in the face, not giving him Fighter of the Year, which they've gave him Fighter of the Year all the other years before. But when he fights against Pacquiao, they don't give it to him. You know what I mean? So just like what Carlos is saying, if Floyd Mayweather gets that 50, you know, that's probably going to make them hate even more. You know, when they're supposed to be like, you know what, I can't hate on this dude no more. I mean, he's defied the odds. He continues to do, you know, to win the fights that I question he even had a chance of winning, you know.
And there is people that give him credit. They'd be like, yeah, I hate him, but I got to give him credit. But then there's the racists and just the biased fans, you know.
And like I said, don't get me wrong, it's a small percentage of them. I'm only pointing them out because I think ESPN, they may have lost a lot of credibility by, you know, giving that award to Ronda Rousey over Floyd Mayweather. Not saying that she's not a good fighter, but when you beat the guy who's the fighter of the decade, right? And you've praised him for so many years, and you beat that guy, it doesn't make sense.
And that Ronda Rousey thing too, that always gets to me. I always go at it. I mean, I like UFC too, but I always got to go at their fan base because to me they're using Floyd Mayweather's name as promotion. Like, I don't like when Dana White be taking shots. I don't like that stuff. That shit gets to me, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like they always bashing. I'm saying Ronda will beat him. Like, man, just stay in your lane, you know. This is boxing, MMA, you know. It's like basketball, baseball, you know, it's different sports.
Yeah, totally different sports.
We should respect each other, and she does respect boxers, but I don't like how they like to take shots at Mayweather like that all the time. Like, and Mayweather's been running the game forever, you know. He's the pay-per-view king, and they mad about that.
Yeah, no.
They want to take over boxing. That's why I want Mayweather to win too. Because if Mayweather loses,
people, us African Americans, we don't even support him. I'm not surprised at the rest of them. We don't even support this man. They might support him more than we do.
Or some don't. Yeah.
You should look up to. You look up to this man of color, breaking all the odds, winning, making money, businessman. You don't respect that.
Yeah.
You're making it easy for them to take shots at him because look how we treat him.
Yeah.
You don't show him no respect.
Well,
man, they gave that boy, girl, Caitlyn an award, but Floyd Mayweather didn't get nothing.
Yeah, you said that boy, that girl, Jenner. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then she tried to diss him for that, you know.
Yeah.
That's a PR move.
It's
a PR move. It's a hot topic. Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn, that's cool. Much respect to your movement, but people die in the street. There's cops, there's firemen, there's U.S. soldiers. They do things that are courageous every single day. You know what I mean? Other athletes with charities and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have some
PR move for ESPN to, you know what I mean, to take and use a hot topic and market and make, you know what I mean, become a trending topic, if you will, off of that.
No, you're absolutely right.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about Ronda Rousey? You know, she came out and said on an interview that she wished that Floyd Mayweather could be like Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hold up. You know, first of all, Mike Tyson.
He got to bite Berto's ear off.
He went to jail for.
I would like to try to say,
armbar
Tyson.
I think it was politics. I don't think he did it. At the end of the day, he went into jail for that. And,
you know what?
But you wish Floyd Mayweather was like Mike Tyson or the opposite. But you know, we already know what time it is. And I just want to say one more thing about the Andre Berto fight. Let's look at the welterweight picture as a whole. Amir Khan, his last opponent was Algieri. Would you rather have seen Amir Khan versus Berto or Amir Khan versus Algieri? And Keith Thurman fought Collazo. Would you rather have seen Keith Thurman versus Berto or Keith Thurman versus Collazo? To me, it's like the same thing. Kell Brook, would you rather have seen him fight the guy he fought or Andre Berto? To me,
the guy, you don't even know the name.
I don't even know the guy name. So at the end of the day, like I said, Floyd Mayweather, like Boxing Baby said, he's been fighting tough competition since day one. When the last time he took a tune-up fight? It was like 10 years ago. And, and the guy like Golovkin, who fights bum all the time, he get a pass, but somebody who fights a former champion don't get a pass.
A former world champion, the WBC champion. Come on now. That's ridiculous. Former world champion, he gets no respect.
To chime in really quick, they called Mayweather gay runner, coward, talk about how he spends his money, say his performance wasn't good enough or he only lost because Pacquiao had a shoulder injury. They slander him nonstop. And they wonder why he doesn't fight your type of fight, the fans' type of fight. Why he doesn't overextend himself to go for the knockout. Why would you when you're being condemned by social media, by society? I wouldn't do shit for nobody else either. If you come to my channel talking that crazy, I wouldn't do anything above and beyond for you specifically.
Yeah.
These fighters need to take note. This man has taken no punishment and made $100 million in probably the easiest 36 minutes of his life. You need to take note and left without a scratch. That's what you need. That's boxing to me.
But once
Looks
again,
like he never even stepped in the ring and he walking away with a $100 million check. If that's not boxing, then I don't know what is. They need these young fighters need to take note.
We got like 3 minutes, guys.
That's what you strive to be. No punishment and getting paid.
And also, Mayweather fights are all.
Hold on for a second. Let Carlos go ahead for a second.
They super fights. Every Mayweather fight's a big fight. Every having a fight party. They're memories. So when Mayweather's gone, you're gonna really look back. The Mayweather fights. Every May it goes down. With Mayweather, when he's gone, I'm gonna miss him because those days go back. You're always at the Mayweather fights, parties. Good memories. So people is gonna miss him when he's gone.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, there's only one Sugar Ray Robinson, one Ali, or even Julio Cesar Chavez. There's only one every, generation. You know what I mean? So this is the one of this generation right here. Go ahead, Ego.
I was just gonna say, ever since like the De La Hoya days, I keep hearing people gripe and complain, oh, this is wasting my money. Oh, the $100 wasting my money. But they still tune in. Like, I've never seen people come back to something they hate so much. Like, if I'm like, oh, I hate Justin Bieber. I can't stand Justin Bieber, but I'm going to his concert. I'm watching his movie. I'm going to his social media, his page. Like, I don't understand. If someone's so boring, why are you talking about him more than you're talking about the guy who's
Exactly. Making videos about him, posting, going to videos about him, posting comments,
following them on Twitter, on Facebook.
Takes a lot of, takes a lot of time to go to people's Instagram, Twitter, and posting comments constantly, talking about how much you hate them.
Yeah, talking about you gonna run laps.
They're making usernames. They're making usernames with his Gay Runner 2000 and stuff like that. Like you're dedicating your.
He's on your mind 24/7.
And it's still. I told a fan that today. I said, "Shut up and just watch the fight because you're gonna watch anyway. You're gonna come on my post. You're gonna call him all type of names. You'll be the first one in front of the television. Shut up.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch him.
And that's what I'm saying.
All the time. But you watch him. You're paying to watch me lose or win. You're still paying. Just shut up and spend your money because you're gonna do it anyway.
I also wish some of these new casual fans would have seen Mayweather when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Because he used to. But Gotti performance, these guys would shut up,
But you know what, Carlos? A lot of them have though. A lot of them have seen it though, but they just personally have so much disdain for him that they try to block that out.
And also, a lot of people don't know him too. They know him from just the De La Hoya fight, Pacquiao fight. They just gonna look at the Pacquiao fight.
It is a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of new fans.
No, but of course there is the people that do know his resume and hate either way though.
Yeah.
Look how he fought Canelo. He walked Canelo down. He backed Canelo up most of the fight. That was 2 years ago.
There's a lot of fights where he walked cats down.
The fight.
Yeah, and once again, when Floyd Mayweather wasn't the cash cow, going back to the pretty boy days, he was one of the most avoided fighters. You had Casamayor didn't want to fight him. Acelino Freitas didn't want to fight him. Nassim Hamed didn't want to fight him. So, but once again, of course, now, he's the big money maker. Now they want to call him the coward. So, but
everybody's calling him out.
Yeah, everybody's calling him out. One more thing about the Berto situation. For all you guys that keep saying the fight is shit and this and that, save all that talk. Let's see if you guys are going to watch it. You're okay? Because it don't really matter what you guys say right now. The numbers will tell us the truth. If you guys really wanted to watch the fight, because if you like Eagle was saying, if you don't want to watch it, if it's not worth watching, we will find out when those views come back. So it's like 1 minute left. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's like 1 minute left.
You know what else is crazy? Floyd ain't even announced if it's Berto. This is all rumors.
Yeah.
We don't even know 100% if this is the dude he's facing, and he still gets that reaction. That's how you know he's doing something right.
That would be a hell of a
But
sight.
once again, Pacquiao can fight Chris Algieri. He had no chance in hell of beating him, and he's afraid. Come on now.
And that was on pay-per-view.
Oh my
No
God.
chance in hell. I don't care how they tried to hype that fight. He had no chance in hell to beat Pacquiao. Not one.
Yeah, I just tell you this: if Mayweather fights Andre Berto on free TV, that's going to be a big statement as opposed to what I just said, Pacquiao fighting Algieri on pay-per-view.
Oh, that's going to be over 1 million views. Like you said, you said 10 million views.
Oh, yeah.
10 million, yeah.
If Floyd Mayweather's fighting on free TV, I'm predicting
that's Sugar
at
Ray.
least 8 to 10 million
That's
views.
the Sugar Ray Leonard of our era, the biggest boxer,
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. And how much time we got left? We got about 1 minute left. Okay, we will go ahead and just wrap it up right now. So, I want to go ahead, and thank my DBN panel as always. Boxing Baby, Boxing Ego, a.k.a. Rap King, and my man in the studio, Carlos, Game Sports Week. Go ahead and plug your Facebook and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, you can hit me up on Carlos Morales on Facebook and Game Sports Week on YouTube, all right?
All right, that's
good talking to y'all, man. Stay up.
That's what it is. Thanks for coming in, man. We will see you guys next week, same time. On to the next one. It's the Nation, baby.